Mhm.
Hello, everyone. It's Coach Mo, and I am here with my featured guest, career breakthrough strategist, Michelle Barone. Hey, Michelle. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Good. Really,
Good.
really good. Monday's our day where we have a lot of team meetings, so
Mhm.
we pretty much spent the morning together. We have a very, very exciting topic to talk about because I know how much math you bring to the table as a career breakthrough strategist. Am I right?
Absolutely.
That's right. So often when we do our complimentary career clarity calls, which Michelle is one of the wonderful team members I have who helps women work through what's really going on in their careers, what's not working, and basically if we can help solve the difference, we do invite our ladies into the workshop. It's only for a select professional woman who really has something that we can solve. But one of the things that we see all the time on our complimentary career clarity calls is the missteps that are costing money. OMG. So, Michelle, we kind of wrap up every morning talking about the women we've spoken to, and we basically debrief. You know, this woman is in this job making 120. Really, she should be making 150 at an up level, but she hasn't done that because of this, and this. And when we debrief these calls, you and I both feel like, oh gosh, we could help her so much. We could help her so much. So if you're 45 and you have at least 20 more years left in your career,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a big chance that there's $500,000 on the table.
At
Big, big chance, at least.
least.
Yes. Because what we typically will help our ladies understand when we're talking to them is that this 120 to 150 might sound like, yeah, it's just $30,000.
Right.
But over 10 years, that's $300,000 has been left on the table. And that's if there's no other movement forward after that, which, as you and I both know, that's not happening. We help
Exactly.
our ladies up level for the first time in our 12-week workshop. And then typically they have another up level within the next year and a half or two, which gives them another tier. We just had one of our ladies do that just last week in our grad group. She went from a 20K to another 15 and 35K in less than, I think it was like a year and a half.
Yep. Absolutely.
So if that's a 20-year career at $700,000, I know I'm quick with math like this. So let's talk about what the missteps are that are typically what we see when we talk to our ladies. Let's kind of roll this out. What are the career missteps that we are typically seeing when we're talking to our ladies?
The one that I hear so much is the comfort zone.
Yeah.
The what if this is all there is? What if grass isn't greener on the other side? What if
Right.
I don't have what it takes? So those self-doubts.
Yeah.
And so what I like to say is, but what if it is?
Totally.
If you don't try, the answer is no.
Yeah.
But if you're
Absolutely.
strategic and you're calculated, then you cannot go wrong.
Right.
So the
Right.
comfort zone is the one that just, and hey, I was there. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get too much of my comfort zone going for my career because I lost my job 6 times. So my comfort zone was basically like excavated out for me all the time in my career. I was that good that I lost my job 6 times in my career. I will say only really one of those times was because I was a little snarky. So just once. And it wasn't really snarky. I was fighting for the patient. It was when I was a VP of a health system. I fought for the patients. And sometimes when we advocate for clients or patients in healthcare, some people may not be on the same page because perhaps their world is threatened. So let's talk about the comfort zone. The comfort zone basically is, I don't think I could do more. If I do more or go to a different work environment, I don't know if I'll be this successful. Or if I move up in my career, can I handle that? Because already I'm working too much.
Well, that's another big one, is if I take on more responsibility and if I'm making more money, that means I'm going to have to work harder and I'm going to have more responsibility. I'm going to be living at work. But then when we continue the conversation, they're already living at work.
Right. Right.
And they're already not making enough money. If they learn how to work effectively, and now they have people underneath them because their leadership skills are so amazing and
Right.
they can delegate, then their life gets better all around.
Right.
And
Right.
now they're reaching their potential.
So the bottom line problem here is that a lot of women who are feeling stuck or in their comfort zone too long just don't believe enough in themselves. They're not believing in what they bring to the table, that they can actually handle more, do more, or navigate a different workplace.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking to these ladies, what are some of the things that they're feeling?
Defeated, undermined, knocked down, lost,
Yeah,
alone, demoralized has come up a lot because now they're being undermined by somebody else.
Yeah.
And now they're having to make decisions, and their employees, if they were a leader, are watching them being abused, basically, verbally, emotionally. And now their authority is being questioned and judged. So then they have to go home feeling that way.
Right. I have a news flash for everyone watching this or listening to this Facebook Live, or on the recording, or this may become a podcast episode as well. And shout out to Darcy and Kelly and Miranda. Hello, ladies. And feel free, ladies, to let us know who's here and who you know that you're here. And if you have a specific question about what your career might be costing you, we'd be happy to talk to you a little bit through a chat message. Feel free to leave a comment here. So what happens is that we get into a comfort zone of feeling defeated. Like, it's not really a comfort zone, is it? But we hear this all the time. Well, how long have you been there? 18 years.
Right.
And this is going on for how many of those 18 years? 16 of them. And what happens is that our soul gets whittled away, whittled away, whittled away, whittled away, whittled away. And by the time we're talking to you 18 years into your career at said company, where your earnings have been flat, and maybe you've lost 25 to 30,000 a year over those years that you can't ever get back.
Right.
That math is just as compelling as what one has to gain. But what's happened there is that the soul has whittled so much that it's impossible for you to believe in yourself. And hello to Mary Zober, how are you? So it's impossible to believe in yourself after a few years. And of course you're going to stay stuck. Of course you're going to stay in the place that you know, because you're not capable in how you feel about yourself to make that next leap and that next move. And perhaps you've been complaining about it so much to your loved ones and friends that they're even sick and tired of hearing about it. So you've begun to isolate yourself and shut down about it. And that's where the loneliness that you just mentioned comes into play, where we hear all the time how our ladies have basically become such a smaller version of themselves. And when we talk on the clarity call, we really do want to appreciate and understand what's really going on. Because listen, ladies, if the reason why your career is not advancing is truly because you need more education or different training, like, we get it. But you know what, Michelle, how many times is that true? Like less than 1% of the time?
Yeah.
No. It's tweaks.
Yeah.
Right. And so many times women who are feeling defeated and less than convince themselves that they need another degree or certification in order to get what they want to get. And so many times we've had women in our workshop who either are in graduate school or working in a certification program, and we help them tee everything up so that they can get it and that they can move into what they want to with a strong strategy. You don't have to wait. And oftentimes, if you have more than 10 years experience in your profession, to move ahead more than what you've done on your own, you probably don't need anything else except feeling better about yourself and a strong strategy and great coaches to help lift you over the self-doubt and to know how to navigate these things. When we have grads who are going for their next great job, they're like, hey, I've got a big interview, and we're like, go right back into those lessons that you had access to. And they're like, oh, that's right. I remember that was lesson 4. Mm-hmm. So the awesome thing is that our ladies have resources for life and ongoing support for life. But one of the things that we see in the 12-week kick-ass workshop is that our ladies, as they're building their souls back, start to look different in their face. And I know you talk to the ladies that you've enrolled in the workshop over the months, the years, et cetera, and you kind of track with them a little bit about how they're feeling and how they're doing. What are some of the things you noticed when they have had?
I literally just hung up with one of our clients who called me. She goes, I know you're about to get on live. I just wanted to check in with you.
Cool.
And I asked her, I said, how are you feeling? What's the differences that you've noticed? And she is making different choices in every aspect of her life, which is amazing. But I've noticed our ladies will say that they feel more free, more like themselves.
Yes.
They're doing things differently, not because it's what they've always done, but because they like it. They maybe found a new color that's nice for them that they like, or to dress in, or maybe they've changed their style completely. It opens up room in their heart for love.
Yeah, we've seen that several times, haven't we?
Maybe they've been single. It's amazing how every aspect of their life changes, because the other thing that usually holds them back is all that emotional baggage that's hanging off of their shoulders and their backs.
Yes.
And so they can walk taller, they can be freer with themselves, with how they're expressing themselves. It's just, the transformation is so amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So as you're talking, I'm thinking about, oh, Jennifer bought a meditation chair. Rock on, Jennifer. Look at you. And hello to you as well. Hello to Paula. So what happens is the face changes. We become lighter on the inside, and it shows up on the outside. We are living life more in the flow. And all of that creates an environment for us to be in a higher level position, making more money. Mm-hmm. And, oftentimes on the clarity calls, when we ask the woman on the call to tell us what you want to do in life, what's your dream job, what's your dream life look like? I don't know, Michelle, 50% of the time or more, well, money's not really that important.
Yes.
I just want to help people.
Yes.
And money is important, ladies, and maybe you've been raised where it's in conflict with a higher value system, and it doesn't have to be that way. Your ability to earn money helps your future, helps your family, and it gives you freedom. There is no woman who we have ever worked with who has gotten about and what they bring to the table and make more money, who has been like, I don't really need this. We've had women who are very high earning women. And you know what? It's exciting for them to go from 250 to 300, from 300 to 400 $1 million earners. It's exciting. Mm-hmm. It no longer has to be a problem or a burden or something that's like they're running on a treadmill as fast as they can. It doesn't have to be that way.
Well, and the other thing is because in the workshop, they're also getting that money mindset piece.
Right.
Now they have a whole different relationship with money.
Yes.
It's a healthier relationship. So
Right.
now they're not afraid of success. They're not afraid of failure. We help them through all of that. And that in itself is even more freeing.
Right.
You cannot help somebody when you're down in your deep hole of depression or not feeling like you're worthy. You can't help somebody from that space.
No, and you can't live your dreams at all.
No.
And if you're not putting some extra money in a retirement plan or in savings, or treating yourself to a meditation chair, thank you, Jennifer, for sharing that. That's just so much fun. You're not living life the way that your creator intended you to live.
Right.
You're pinching yourself off and holding yourself tight against the world. Don't let them get me. Don't let them hurt me again. And so that's not fun. Let's do a little bit of math with our ladies who might be here and wondering, is this them? So, ladies, you could be in a situation where your career missteps or your, love it, or your lack of steps might be costing you $500,000. It's not that hard to get to that number. Michelle's donning her glasses, putting the calculator on, putting the glasses on, the calculator out. So if we have this 120, okay, you're making 120, you've been at a manager level for a while, and you know you should be at 150. And I'm particularly thinking about one client in particular, who this was her. She was absolutely beaten back and had a nervous breakdown making 120 because she felt she had to do everything and be everything.
Right.
And so she came into our workshop and we helped her up level to 150. Let's just say that she did the $30,000 increase for, I don't know, 2 years. $60,000, right?
Yes.
Just say that she continued to get coaching and she did another up level from 150 to 200.
Mm-hmm.
Another 50,000. So that's 60 on top of 50. That's 110,000. Michelle, that's an $80,000 difference. 120 to the 200 mark. Could you please do 80 times 10? 80,000 times 10.
I don't know. Do I need to do that? That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. $800,000.
Seriously.
It's enough to buy a couple of cars and a couple of houses. It's enough to fund a retirement plan that's going to make that individual go, I'm maximizing my 401k. This feels so great.
How about instead of going to that trip to Greece in the normal seating area, how about you get to go first class?
How about it?
How about that?
How about it?
How about you get to be a role model for kids and the younger women that are looking up to us and going, but I'll just settle. No, we deserve more. We deserve first class. But we have to believe that we deserve first class before other people will see us as first class.
Ooh, baby.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to stick that in the on the thing here. Hang on. We deserve first class. So as a professional woman, if you're working your butt off, if you are focusing every bit of energy and the shreds of light that you have left inside for other people, isn't it about time that you started focusing on yourself and drawing the light back up inside of you so that you can make this type of career move? Your career is costing you or it's paying you. And it's costing you if you're not playing at the level that you're really truly built for. And you know, Michelle, as I talk about this with our clients, this is your treasure chest. Don't diminish it. Don't hide it under your bed. Don't wish that someone else will notice it while you're hiding it. It doesn't work that way. It is up to you to take responsibility to shine up your treasure and to be able to put yourself in a situation where it's paying you. and it's paying off, and it's allowing you to have the life that you deserve. You know, in this time where a lot of people's lives have been turned upside down, it's even more important because the conditions in which you're operating, ladies, are more complex. We don't need to be told that. The conditions are more complex. And if you're not evolving as a human being, if you're not shining your light brightly, your chances of getting left behind or being thrown in the pile of people who are going to be laid off because, you know what, we're just going to do a clean sweep. If you're not playing to your strengths, your chances of being in that pile are very high. It's up to you to shine yourself up so that you will be performing at the best level. And it doesn't take more work. You just have to love yourself more. And we have all the guidance and expertise and techniques to help you move forward in a way that's going to feel awesome and reward you with greater career earnings and opportunities. Michelle, in our workshop recently, and I know you did the clarity call on a few of these women, there are women who have been so convinced that their current work environment is not the best place for them,
Right.
that they're not going to get ahead, that they feel crappy there. And over the time of following our proven formula, they work on themselves, they bring their soul back to life, they get clear strategy, they work on their resume. All of a sudden they're feeling like, yeah, this is who I am. And all of a sudden they're being looked at differently in their current workplace.
Yeah. Yeah. How about the couple women that we know, and there's so many, but the couple that I'm thinking about that tried to get to a certain corporation, organization, could never even get her foot in the door or a resume seen, and all of a sudden is like, welcome in.
Right.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Right. So not only is your career misstep or your lack of step costing you at least $500,000 over the remainder of your career, it may have already cost you that in your career. There is no point in continuing to do things the same way. It is in your best interest to change how you see yourself in the world. How the world sees you will immediately change. And that's the laws of the universe that we know how to leverage in very specific, very real ways to make our ladies' lives better.
Yeah.
And we have a unique formula.
Yeah.
You know, I was just with one of our husbands over the last couple of days because he has hired me to be his coach. And he was reminding me how awesome his wife is, and how when she first started into the 12-week workshop, he couldn't believe how quickly she changed. Yeah. He still is kind of flabbergasted by the whole thing, and that was like a year ago. And what I've done to help him has been equally as quick. I'm using the same techniques, but I'm working with him one-on-one as I do with the men I coach. We have a women's only 12-week transformational experience because women need to lean into each other and to see what each other is doing and to learn and grow together. It's part of what makes transformation so much more adapted. Like we, as human beings, we adapt in better when we're in a group environment, especially with women. It's how we are wired in the world. And how many women, Michelle, have made career missteps because they don't get along with other women?
Oh, so many. They think it's just okay or normal, or it's just drama, or I'll just fly under the radar, and then I won't get involved. And then when they do that, they never shine bright enough to be promoted, to be seen, because they're always trying to they think it's okay that people treat them either like they're invisible or just treat them poorly.
Yeah.
And it's not. Don't settle.
Right. And most of the women who we've had complimentary career clarity calls who have made a career move in their careers, let's just put it this way, it's been less than what they deserve. And And that's understandable because there's only so much you can do if you don't have expertise on your side. There's only so much that you can up-level yourself without having someone else or a proven formula really show you all the awesome ways that you can up-level and what you can do differently to make it a lot easier to move in that type of direction. It's really, like a shame, honestly. There was a woman we talked to. She did not enroll in the workshop, but she's making less than a 10% potential increase in the interview process that she's in. And I basically said to her, look, on your own, that's about what people do. I said, based on your expertise, your education, and your experience, that should be a $30,000 to $40,000 move. And most people don't know how to do that on their own.
Because they don't believe they're first class.
Right.
They don't believe it.
And if they think that maybe they are, but they haven't seen it in the world yet, they certainly don't know the steps to get there. And ladies, I'm not trying to be anything negative to you. You know what? Who's teaching you this stuff? Who has shown you this stuff in the past? Who in the world is pointing you in the right direction of your awesomeness? Like, with all due respect, there's not a whole lot of human beings in your life, more than likely, that are doing this. Lena, didn't set for yourself for 3 years. I've not gotten a raise in 3 years. Bam, and we're going to help you get at least that, if not even something bigger. Lisa, it sounded like nice to see you. Definitely, you deserve to be first class. Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. Yeah, Jennifer Phillips, we got you covered, and we're gonna help keep moving you forward. So here's the formula. Here's the formula for making $500,000 more in your career. Number one, take responsibility for your career. Number two, once you take responsibility, you're going to need an expert, with all due respect. That's the way it goes. If you haven't been able to do it on your own, just sort of wake up and realize, you know what, I'm going to need some help. I haven't been able to do it. I know there's more, and I know what Mo and Michelle are talking about relates to me. And you can absolutely book that call at mofall.com/ what is the slash? Live clarity. Thank you, magician, for putting that banner there. mofall.com/ live clarity. And we'll help you basically debrief what's going on in your career and what you want to do. And if we can fill that gap in, we'll talk to you about that. Listen, ladies, we're all about changing lives. We're all about lifting women up. Yep. We're all about you being able to get further in your life and feel more awesome in your soul. That's what we do. So take responsibility, take action, and then hire people who are way ahead of you. Hire people who have helped others. Hire people with track record. Hire people who have over 700 women that they've helped do this with. Hire someone who knows what they're doing. I'll be like Blake Shelton in The Voice with the little finger thing. Isn't that what he does? Shh, shh, shh. Wait, shh, shh, shh. Which way? Michelle and our team are eager and happy to help you debrief your career up to this point. The clarity call is 1 hour of your precious time, and your time that you can carve out to finally talk with someone who's going to help you see what's truly going on. You know what we do big time as human beings? We normalize our pain. And then we find all of the points of evidence that it's okay. Take responsibility for your career. Realize that you're leaving money on the table every single week, month, and year by not moving into the greatest powerful position you can have in your career. Michelle, you've spoken to thousands of women on these career clarity calls. The advice that you would give to any of those women would be what?
If you are finding yourself having the same results, well, I've been laid off for 3 times, but it's okay because 200 other people got laid off too. But it's happened to you at 3 different companies. There's something going on there. Why aren't you the one they're keeping? If you're feeling the same way, that you're not getting ahead, no matter what you do. There's a blind spot. It's costing you. If you're not if you see everyone else that you went to, whether it was you graduated with or your peers, if you're training people that are now over you,
yeah,
you gotta get some help. When your roof is leaking, you call the roofer. When you need heart surgery, you see the cardiac surgeon. When your success in your career is bleeding out, you need help. Otherwise, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when you're retiring, it's going to be a fizzle.
Yeah.
Who wants to go out with a fizzle? You want to go out with fireworks. You want to celebrate your success, your career.
Right. And have enough money in the bank to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enough sense of self and accomplishments and feeling that you're able to shine your own glory.
Yes.
Yeah.
And be that example so that when other girls, young women come up in the world, they're looking at you and going, oh my God, I want to be just like her.
Yes. And if you have kids, whether they be still at home or not, they're still looking at you. They're still tracking with how you navigate life and what you are as a role model to them. So if you're down in the dumps and miserable and unhappy and getting taken advantage of and played small at work, they're watching. Don't give the next generation an okay on that. Please do not do that. Your kids are tracking with you, ladies. And the ladies who have gone through the workshop who have kids, they feel so much happier that they're better moms. They feel so much happier that they're role modeling positive behaviors. And many of them are bringing the techniques that we use in the workshop to their kids. And they're using them and doing them with their kids. And it feels so amazing. And I love when they tell us this. Because everything we do for the human being, woman, professional woman in the workshop can absolutely be shared with their kids for having them feel more successful and having show them how to keep the light of their soul shining and not have it dimmed by others. It's lessons for life that will always be paying back. Yeah. So that little price tag, okay, that $500,000 price tag,
right,
that your career could be adding, that you're not getting at, is just the beginning of the riches that you will get when you up level and when you take your soul in your own hands and you say, this is my responsibility. Yeah. I'm the one who's got to take my life and my career up. I'm the one who's going to take responsibility. I'm the one who's going to make that call. I'm the one who's going to find time for that call and make the investment in myself. And I'm going to stop with the excuses. So that's really the biggest takeaway, that $500,000 extra money or more is on the other side of stopping the excuses. Ladies, I know, yes, we do help owners of companies, Renee, absolutely. Yes. Because if your company is not thriving, it's likely the same exact reasons why careers don't thrive. There is a lot to be had for stepping in your power, owning your truth, taking responsibility, and doing the work to get yourself notched up so that you can attract greater things, bring your dreams to life, make more money, and be a more awesome role model to family and friends. It all comes in the same package, doesn't it, Michelle?
And yeah, exactly. And I want to add to that because we had a woman last week who got started with us, and she said exactly the same thing. I don't know exactly what I want to do. I may want to do something for myself. And I said, you still have to be the CEO of your own life.
Yes.
You don't know how to lead if you haven't been successful working for someone else. How are you going to be successful for yourself? Because you're still not valuing yourself.
Right.
So to be the CEO of your own life, doesn't matter if you're working for someone else, if your office is in your home, or if your office is somewhere else. You still have to be in control, and you have to be the CEO of your life, your dreams.
Right.
So important.
And we just helped a woman get clear on the fact that she's a younger mom. She actually wants to combine her career with putting a priority on being a mom again, being a new mom, being a mom for the second time. And so it's not necessarily only about striving for the biggest, fattest paycheck. It's about striving for the biggest version of you. And then our system helps you construct the pieces that are necessary for you to build around that make your life kick ass, your life what you want it to be. Now, here's the thing, and this is a pledge that I make to all of my clients. You might be thinking, well, I don't need this big life mo, as a way of wimping out and not taking the chance or not up leveling. And we're going to help you be accountable to yourself. Because if you just say, well, I don't really need that big of a career and that big of a paycheck, you know what? Is that true? So we're going to help you really get into your truth and get into what's the best for you as a bigger soul, a brighter soul, and using your gifts and talents in the world in a way that's going to leverage your awesomeness and have the best contribution going out and compensation coming in, because your best version of you gets paid more regardless of what you do. When you're a bigger version of you, your paycheck goes up. Bottom line, that's the way it goes. So be a bigger version of you. Yes.
I think we also need to talk about what so many women right now are being faced with school for their kids. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I'll just settle. Let me just take a step back from my career. I'm going to have to stay home. I'm going to have to do something remote. I'm not going. Now is the time to get really clear about what you're passionate about and how to mix it together, meld it together, and create something either for yourself or find a company that believes in that work-life balance. This is a huge time for all of us right now.
Yes.
This isn't a time for women to retreat and go back to just being, and listen, I was a stay-at-home mom. I worked my booty off. I was the domestic engineer, the domestic goddess. But listen, you can still have your career and raise your amazing, wonderful children and be that role model for the Girl Scouts, for PTA, for all of them. You've just got to learn how to put it all together, and we can help you do all of it.
Yeah, right on. Absolutely. Oh, Katie, sorry you weren't seeing our feeds anymore. Way to advocate for us. Happy to have you here, Katie. So, ladies, message for the week. I want you to do some math for yourself and for your families. Where should you really be career-wise, and where are you, and what does that math look like over the next 10 and 20 years? Because those numbers will astound you. When you do the math aggregate, you're going to want to run to a solution, because it's costing you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to settle. Please don't settle. It's not what you were made for. You were not made to settle. You were made in the likeness and image of your creator. And that's called big and bold and awesome and beautiful. That's who you are. And if that's not how you're living, something is wrong. Something is inherently wrong. Just like if you saw someone limp down the street, you'd be like, oh, there's something wrong with how they walk. That's how I look at your career. There's something wrong. Let's get rid of that limp. It's costing you not only money, but your soul's power, which is bleeding out for your entire life. You're not the best mom. You're not the best sister. You're not the best daughter. You're not the best spouse and partner or girlfriend or whatever your situation is. If your soul is diminished, everything in your life is getting less. Everything is getting less. And it's not what we're meant to be on this earth. So book your complimentary career clarity call at mofall.com/liveclarity. And maybe you'll be lucky enough to get Michelle, or maybe you'll be lucky enough to see our other team members. It is a call for you. And you will have clarity, and you will know exactly what's going on. The truth shall set you free. And then the next step is to take responsibility. Actually, take responsibility by booking the call. You take responsibility to book the call. So do your math homework on your career. Realize what you have left on the table and have at risk, book the call, and let's take care of this limping along career. Even if you're a high earner, especially if you're a high earner, the math is just more exponential. We just helped a woman make a 50K increase, and she was fired for the third time. She's got a good 20 years left in her career. Michelle, math on 20 times 50,000. You know what that sweet number is?
$1 million?
$1 million for the win. And actually, her name is the same as yours. So $1 million earning. And you know what she was about to do? She was about to crawl under a rock and realize that playing at that level was not in the cards for her, and she was beginning to settle. She was thinking about not wanting to get burned again. And in 8 weeks, 8 weeks, folks, she did the work, got the coaching, and she's moving to her dream city with her dream job, with her husband on her arm, moving into a dream house. 8 weeks. 8 weeks. Jennifer, we're gonna end it with Jennifer's comment. This workshop is the best thing that's ever been created in the history of my world. Jennifer, I love that. Thank you so very much. And let's keep your world, and let's keep making everyone's world better. And let's keep bringing souls back to life. Michelle, thanks for joining me today on Motivational Monday. Oh, look, here's another Michelle. Rock on, indeed. And Paula, I agree. So ladies, let's make it happen for you. Life is too precious, and it's way, 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 way too short for you to settle one more day, one more week. Book it.
Right.
Dano, mofall.com/live clarity. Let's get your career taken care of. Michelle, we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you will.
All right. This is Coach Mo Fall, the founder and creator of the Kick-Ass Career Workshop that we've been up-leveling hundreds and hundreds of women's careers and lives over the past 5 years or so. I think there's been over 700 women who we've totally loved on and brought them forward. Your chance to come in on that is mofall.com/live clarity. See you next time, folks. This is Mo Fall. Bye, Michelle.
Bye.